Today we remember all our children of the world who have died before us, before their time. And those of us assembled here especially remember our children who have left us with little more than memories. As we recall our children, we ask you to remember not just the sadness of their loss, but the special joys and happiness their lives brought to us. As each child's name is read tonight, the bell will ring, and you and your family and everyone may raise their candle briefly in memory, remembrance, and honor. At this time, I would like to acknowledge a few very special people that have greatly contributed to our chapter. I will start with our matriarch, Othel Heaney. If you will raise your hand so people know who you are. Oh, she has trouble raising her hand, but raise it. There you go. Yes. And our core team, Jill, Melissa, and Sue. Would you please stand and be recognized as the core? Bob, Sue Scott, Denny, and Ed, please stand and be acknowledged as our active volunteers. This is for a small token of our appreciation for your endless hours of volunteering at the chapter meetings and events. I am truly honored to have the core group and the volunteers that make our chapter what it is today. I could not do it without them, without my team, and could not do all of the things that we do. You are all very talented and dedicated to our mission, and I want to thank you all. I hope everyone has been out to see the Memorial Garden. Unfortunately, the weather did not make that very possible today. And I wanted to also acknowledge Tri-State Fabricators who raised the bell, and she is not here tonight because she cannot drive in this weather. Kevin Martin for lighting our bell, and Steve McGuire, who has helped us and carried us many times. Our program tonight is dedicated to honor his wife Ginny and his daughter Kelly, who have both passed away. Could you stand and be acknowledged, please? Where's Kevin? Oh, there you are. And this one. Thank you for what you do, Kevin. I would also like to introduce another member who is a long-distance member, Anne Marie Du Bois. She is our CPA, and she's in North Carolina, and she drove up here this morning to be here, and she does a lot of work behind the scenes, and we couldn't be where we are without her either. Thank you, Anne Marie, for your many years of doing this work. And then I would like to, last but not least, introduce you to Gary, our singer, who drove from North Carolina also to Delaware just to be here with you and sing and celebrate our children gone too soon. This is his second year of traveling for our candlelight. Gary wanted to say a word to you before we start.
It is such a privilege to be able to be here tonight. I did this when I left. Actually, I was doing it 23 years ago here. until I moved to North Carolina. But when they asked me to come and sing last year and then call me back and say, could you come back again, I guess I did okay, so here I am. But I'm just coming off of a nasty whatever, and I lost my voice 4 days ago, completely. And I've been praying and asking God to give me the strength to be able to do this, and I'm going to be able to do 3 of the 5 songs that I was going to sing. Those of you that sing, you understand when you lose your voice, it just doesn't come back. And I have to be very careful because I don't want to hurt my voice and push it. So 2 of the songs, I'm going to actually play the original artist that sang the song. Unfortunately, you're going to have to put up with Josh Groban instead of me for the first song. And then Paul Alexander is actually the gentleman that wrote the song Light a Candle. So you'll get to hear him as himself, who is the one that actually composed the song. So again, Betty, thank you so much for giving me the privilege to be able to be here tonight.
We're so happy to have you. Thank you. And our program will now begin.
We reach out to each other with love, with understanding, and with hope. The children we mourn have died at all ages and from many different causes, but our love for them unites us. Your pain becomes my pain, just as your hope becomes my hope. We come together from all walks of life, many from different circumstances. We are a unique family because we represent many races, creeds, and relationships. We are young, we are old. Some of us are far along in our grief, but others still feel a grief so fresh and so intensely painful that they feel helpless and see no hope. Some of us have found our faith to be a source of strength, while some of us are struggling to find answers. Some of us are angry, filled with guilt, or in deep depression, while others radiate an inner peace. But whatever pain we bring to this gathering of the Compassionate Friends, it is pain we will share, just as we will share with each other our love for the children who have died. We are all seeking and struggling to build a future for ourselves, but we are committed to building a future together. We reach out to each other in love to share the pain as well as the joy, share the anger as well as the peace. We share the faith as well as the doubts, and help each other to grieve as well as to grow. We need not walk alone. We are the Compassionate Friends.
Who can say for certain? Maybe you're still here. I feel you all around me. Your memory so clear. Deep in the stillness, I can hear you speak. You're still an inspiration. Can it be that you are to where you are. I know you're there, a breath away that fall to where you
We are the surviving siblings of the Compassionate Friends. We are brought together by the deaths of our brothers and sisters. Open your hearts to us, but have patience with us. Sometimes we will need the support of our friends. At other times, we need our families to be there. Sometimes we must walk alone, taking our memories with us, continuing to become the individuals we want to be. We cannot be our dead brother or sister. However, a special part of them lives on with us. When our brothers and sisters died, our lives changed. We are living a very different life from what we envisioned, and we will feel the responsibility to be strong even when we feel weak. Yet, we can go on because we understand better than many others the value of family and the precious gift of life. Our goal is not to be the forgotten mourners that we sometimes are, but to walk together to face our tomorrows as surviving siblings of the Compassionate Friends.
A nearby distance. How long will you stay?
For as long as you love us.
Will I always be sad?
A part of you, yes.
What about the other parts?
They will find a new way.
A new way for what?
A new way to breathe, to laugh, to walk, to wake up, to create, to experience nature, to see the world, to be courageous, to hear music, to carry hope, to speak their names. A new way to love from a nearby distance.
Even as we grieve, there is much to be thankful for. Today, I am thankful for tears. Though an ocean I have cried, they speak of our connection, reminding me that love has not died. Today, I am thankful for the memories. They brighten the road of grief. They remind me of love shared and provide a small relief. Today, I am thankful for love, felt strongly in my soul. Love continues living forever, keeping us together and whole. Today, I am thankful for family and friends, those who don't walk away. They saw my broken heart and chose to sit and stay. today, I am thankful for time, for the moments that were too few, through the tears that are shed. Today, I am thankful for you.
I ain't lonely, but I spend the time alone more than I'd like to, but I'm okay with staying home. My, how the last few months have changed. I'm smiling more despite the pain, and I breathe in and I breathe out. I got friends to call who let me talk about what ain't working and what's still hurting me, and all the things I feel like cussing out. Now and then I let it go, ride the waves I can't control, but I'm learning how to build a better boat. I hate waiting, ain't no patience in these hands. I'm not complaining, sometimes it's hard to change a man. I think I'm stronger than I was, and I thank God for what He does. And I breathe in and I breathe out. I got friends to call who let me talk about what ain't working and what's still hurting me, and all the things I feel like cussing out. Now and then I let it go, I ride the waves I can't control, but I'm learning how to build. And I breathe in and I breathe out. I got friends to call who let me talk about what ain't working and what's still hurting me, and all the things I feel like cussing out. Now and then I let it go, I ride the waves I can't control. I don't know when I get it done, the thing may not float, but I'm learning how to build a better boat.
Thank you, Gary. That was beautiful. Thank you, Ken, for introducing that beautiful song to a lot of us as well. Excerpts from A Celebration of You by James Kavanaugh. I have tried to imagine my world without you. Soaring geese in the splendor of fall along a country road. And know that none of it will be the same without you. But most of all, I could never replace your smile, your eyes, your gentleness and giving, your loyalty and caring. The memories we've filled, the secrets we've shared, the love that is forever there, despite distance or time. So today, I celebrate your very existence, that all of life for your life, thank all of life for your life. Express my deepest gratitude that of the millions of people and possibilities, our lives were destined to be intermingled. As we celebrate your being, we want you to know clearly and forever that our world would never be the same without you.
My Angel Up in Heaven by Dave Hedges. My angel up in heaven, I wanted you to know. I feel you watching over me everywhere I go. I wish you were with me, but that can never be. Memories of you in my heart that only I can see. My angel up in heaven, I hope you understand. If I would give anything, I could hold your hand. I'd hold you oh so tightly and never let you go. And all the love inside me to you I would show. To my angel up in heaven, for now we are apart. You'll always live inside of me, deep within my heart.
The hardest thing to do in a group of you folks is to relate. I can't begin to understand the pain and the grief that you share, but I had my own when I lost my wife 17 years ago. So when I'm up here and I sing these songs, it touches me deeply. And I just want you to know that a lot of people like to get up and perform, but I want to tell you, this is my heart that's coming out. And I wish my voice was where it was, but this song, Precious Child, when I first heard it, I was just overwhelmed by it. And to be able to sing this song without breaking down was very, very difficult. And so please understand that with my voice the way it is, I am singing from my heart. In my dreams, you are alive and well, precious child, precious child. In my mind, I see you clear as a bell, precious child, precious child. In my soul there is a hole that could never be filled, but in my heart there is hope that you are with me still. In my heart you live on, always there, you're never gone. Precious child, you left too soon. Though it may be true that we're apart, you will live forever precious child, but in this world I was left here to grieve, precious child. Oh, my precious child, in my soul there is a hope that could never be filled. But in my heart there is hope that you are with me still. In my heart you live on, always there, you're never gone. Precious child, you left too soon. Though it may be true that we're apart, you will live forever in my heart. God knows I want to hold you, feel you, touch you. I know that there's a heaven, and someday I will again. Please know I'm not forgotten until then. In my heart you live on, always there, you'll never gone. Precious child, you left too soon. And know that we're apart. You will live forever in my heart.
On the wings of a butterfly. I longed for happiness. I wished for moonbeams. I asked for sunshine. I yearned for tenderness. I hungered for fun. I pleaded for a friend. I prayed for love. God heard my prayers, and on the wings of a butterfly, you came into my life. You filled my life with love. You were all I prayed for. Then one day, all too soon, he called you home. And suddenly you were gone on the wings of a butterfly. Now, every time I see a butterfly, I am reminded of happiness, moonbeams, sunshine, tenderness, and the fun we shared. But most of all, I am reminded of the love you brought into my life. With cheerful eyes and a heart which still grieves, my prayer is, may you go to places where you have never been, on the wings of a butterfly.
Good evening. It is now my honor and pleasure to introduce you to a very special person who is our guest speaker for this evening. Sue Humphreys has been a part of our core group since 2015 when her beloved Scotty passed away at the age of 41. He was autistic and severely mentally challenged, and Sue became an advocate for people with disabilities. She spoke in front of the Delaware Joint Finance Committee in Dover several times and wrote and filed a petition that was passed to add autism to Delaware's medical marijuana list. She also is a volunteer to Read Aloud Delaware, the Masonic Nursing Home, Special Olympics, and became an advocate for a resident at her son's group home in memory of Scott. She also served on the board of directors for Community Interaction, which is an agency that provided services in group homes for special need adults. Currently, she shares her Fridays with the Forgotten Cats organization as she shows them as much love and compassion as she does to all our bereaved parents. She cherishes time with her family, and she is the author of a child's book called Scotty, My Special Brother. In her spare time, she enjoys ballroom dancing with her husband, Ken. She is a loving, caring, and compassionate, humble soul, and has shown much love to our bereaved parents as she writes over 500 cards every year for many years to honor our children on all their birthdays and angelversaries. Thank you, Sue.
Good evening, everyone. And before I begin, I want to thank my son Brad, my daughter-in-law Alicia, my three handsome grandsons, Thomas, Charles, and Henry, and my husband Ken for coming here tonight to support me. I also want to thank Denny Ma for his help with technical support. When Betty and Othel asked me to be the guest speaker, I said no. I'm not qualified. I'm not a current or former chapter leader. I don't hold any title or office. And I thought, to be honest, that they had run out of qualified speakers. So here I am. You're stuck with me. I'm just a bereaved parent, like most of you. And I guess that makes me qualified to speak. I am among friends. Some of you may be grandparents and siblings. We all know why we are here. We're here to honor our children that passed before us. When I told my 15-year-old grandson Thomas that I was going to speak, I asked him what he was learning in public speaking class, and he said, "Be yourself and have confidence." So Thomas, I'm going to try to take your advice. I also heard a way to relax in speaking in front of a group of people is to picture them with no clothes on. So maybe it's good I have glaucoma and I can't see too well. There are a few parts to my speech. First, I want to tell you a little bit about my son, Scott. Many of you know things about him from my newsletter stories and the poems that I've written about him. Scott was born on September 15th, 1973. He had a cleft lip, so right from the very beginning, he was unique. This is a picture of Scott and Brad, of course, when they were very little. Somewhere between the ages of 2 and 3, when Scott still did not talk, he was diagnosed as mentally challenged, and at the special education school that he attended, his behaviors got worse. The principal suggested that he be institutionalized, and my husband and I said, absolutely not. At age 14, he was diagnosed to the autism program. This is a picture of my first husband, Fred, and Scotty at Disney World. My husband passed away from cancer at the age of 52, and I took Scott to his dad's funeral. He walked up to the casket and he said, "Very pretty flowers." And when we got home, he said, "Where's Daddy? At work?" And this question went on for years. Scott did not understand death, and maybe that was good. I worried about how I was going to handle Scotty as he continued to be more aggressive. He started living in a group home at the age of 17, and we had him home every weekend, so I wanted to keep his schedule the same. I had a police partition put in my car to keep Scott from grabbing my hair while I was driving. It was not until after my husband died 6 months later that Scotty had his first bowel obstruction surgery. This is a picture of some of the things that Scott had eaten: a large nail, a large paper clip, a quarter, and some of the rubber toys at the bottom are things that were actually taken out of Scott. He had eaten 10 rubber toys at the sheltered workshop he attended, and 2 of them got lodged in his colon. During surgery, he coded blue, and no one expected him to live. And it was then that we realized that he had an eating condition called pica, P-I-C-A. Pica, definition: a craving or a compulsion to consume inedible objects. This term is from the Latin word for the magpie bird that gathers and eats unusual things. He endured 3 of these life-threatening surgeries. The second one, he ate an eagle's decal, and the third one, a pork chop bone. And each time, he miraculously pulled through. I was told that he had one of the worst cases of pica in the state of Delaware. And even though Scott had one-on-one staffing at the group home, he was so quick to reach down and pick up something and swallow it. At home, I had locks put on the doors and the refrigerator because he would eat raw meat. A short piece about Scott's pica and funding care was on Channel 12, and 2 staff members did documentaries about Scott and his pica. He was a very unique person. Scotty died in his bed at the group home from E. coli bacteria on June 20th of 2015 at the age of 41. On good days, Scott might be trying to sing a song or laughing as he ran in and out the house and flushing the toilet over and over and over again. On bad days, Scott could be very aggressive, scratching, biting, or hitting. He was very strong, and any medication change could cause extreme side effects and behaviors. And the worst part was that he could not tell me what was wrong, and that would break my heart. I did not know how to help him. I do have a few funny little stories about Scott. When the boys were young, they shared a bunk bed, and Scotty was in the upper bunk. At night, he would take his feet and he'd start banging on the wall and screaming. And Scott would yell, "Mom, can't you do anything? Tell this kid to be quiet?" Well, I couldn't. But I secretly think that Brad liked to stay in his room with him because he had seen too many scary movies, and he knew that nobody would mess with Scott. After Scott came out of the public school system, he attended a sheltered workshop called Chimes. One day, Scott and I went to Lum's Pond State Park. I wanted to get some pine cones for decoration, so Scotty was holding the bag open, and I was putting the pine cones in, and suddenly a park ranger appeared. And he said, "Did you know you're not supposed to take those?" And I said, "No." And Scott reaches over and starts to take the pen out of his pocket. And then he's touching his belt. And then he says, "Hey man, do you work at Chimes?" The park ranger kindly says, "You can keep the cones," and he leaves. And then there was the time the staff took him to the movies. And they just sit in the very back of the theater, not to disturb anybody. And Scott starts to get louder and louder. And some man yells, "Can you be quiet?" And Scott yells back, "Hey man, do you work at Chimes?" When I would take Scott for rides in the car, and we'd have the window partially down, not all the way because he would climb out, we'd pull up to the car next to us, and Scott would yell out the window, "Hey man, do you work at Chimes?" I guess he thought that everybody worked at Chimes. There were very few things that Scott liked. He didn't like toys or to play with other children. But he loved Sesame Street and Fraggle Rock and the Muppet movies. And we had them all. I brought with me a very special guest tonight, one of Scott's favorites, and I'd like to get him for you. Does anybody know who this is? That's right, Elmo. Elmo has a 2-minute video that he would like to share with you. It is Elmo talking to Andrew Garfield. Andrew Garfield is an English-American actor who's played in the amazing Spider-Man movies. And although it is not about the loss of a child, it is about loss. And I think we can relate to what they say. Elmo would like to play it for you.
Oh, I'm so happy to see you, Elmo. You have no idea. I'm doing okay, you know. Oh, I don't know. You sure you want to listen? I'm just thinking about my mom today. You know, she passed away not too long ago. And, you know, I just miss her. That's all. Oh, that's okay. You don't have to say sorry. It's actually kind of okay to miss somebody. Oh, yeah. Yeah, me too. Me too. But you know, that sadness, it's kind of a gift. It's kind of a lovely thing to feel, in a way, because it means you really love someone when you miss them. And when I miss someone, I remember, when I miss my mom, I remember all of the cuddles I used to get from her, all of the hugs I used to get from her. Yeah, just like that. And it makes me feel close to her when I miss her, in a strange way. So I'm happy to have all the memories of my mom and the joy she brought me and the joy she brought my brother and my dad and everyone she ever met, everyone around her. So when I miss her, I remember it's because she made me so happy. So I can celebrate her and I can miss her at the same time. Yeah. Elmo really listens really well. You know what? Nothing would make me happier and nothing would make her happy. Because you know what? I'm going to tell you something. Go see a secret. Elmo is my mommy's favorite. Yeah. I love you so much. I will. I always have. I always will. That's right. Each and every day, all together.
Well, thank you, Elmo, for sharing your grief thoughts with us. I think many of the feelings that they expressed, we have felt also. Elmo, do you want to sit on the stool and listen to the rest of the speech, or would you like to go back in the bag? Oh, Elmo says he wants to listen. He's a good listener. On the news several months ago. A young woman was in a convenience store in California with a man. The woman put her hand behind her back and gave this sign. Does anybody know what that sign is for? Help. That's right, helping. If someone in the store knew what that sign meant, and they contacted the police. The man was apprehended. He had been abusive to the young woman. This is the hand signal. Let's try it. Hold up your hand. Thumb in. Fold your fingers over it. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we as parents, grandparents, and siblings had a hand signal to mean I'm bereaved, I'm in despair, I'm hurting physically and mentally, my heart is breaking. I looked this up. There is no universal hand signal for being bereaved. Hand signals are generally ineffective for this purpose because grieving is a private and complex emotional state. But guess what? We do have something to help. We have the Compassionate Friends, a group devoted to us, and you found us. Look around at all these people. Let's think about what these words mean. The first two words, the compassionate. Definition of compassionate, feeling or showing concern or sympathy for others. Isn't that what we're doing just by being here? We reach out to each other and we support one another. The second word, friends. Definition, a person whom one knows and with whom one has a bond of mutual affection. An acquaintance or a stranger can become a friend. A person who acts as a supporter. When you come into a TCF meeting, you come in as a stranger and you leave as a friend. We are here to listen and support you. I've made several friends here and talked to many of you on the phone. We are not alone in our grief. We grieve together, we laugh together, and sometimes we cry together. How many of you receive our birthday and anniversary cards? Raise your hand. When you receive one of our birthday or anniversary cards from our TCF chapter, I want you to know that we truly care about you and your deceased child. Before I started writing these cards, it was often the only card I received on Scott's birthday or anniversary, and it meant so much to me. As the words to a song said, thank you for being a friend, I want to thank you for being my compassionate friend. I once wrote that life is not supposed to be a child that went ahead of me, but we are still here. We are unwavering. We live on to be sure that no one will forget our children. And I just want to say I'm so proud of all of you. You got yourselves together, you came here in bad weather. Maybe you didn't even want to come because you thought it was too emotional or too hard. But you're here to honor your children and be among friends. And lastly, I'd like to read a poem that I wrote 3 years after Scotty died about the holidays, and it's called Gifts from Scotty. Most of you will shop for things, gifts for presents you will bring, families happy all around, sharing time and food abound. For me, the gifts come all year round. As I listen to the wondrous sound my Scotty's voice each night I play, just simple words I hear him say. I close my eyes and I see his face, his blue eyes as I see him pace. The tears still come each passing day. I hide them well and people say, you're doing great, you're getting along. I don't tell them they are very wrong. My little treasure Scott sent from above, like beautiful feathers he sent with love. Feathers found in unusual places, like looking down, there's one by my laces. I have to treasure these simple things, for God took Scotty and gave him wings. Thank you for having me as your guest speaker. It was a privilege.
I'd like to thank everyone for coming out tonight. Before I get started, my daughter Maya has two sisters, Janine and Ann. Everybody knows Janine and knows me. She's local in Newark. And last year at the reception, one of the people said, "You have another daughter, Ann?" I said, "Yeah, she lives in Florida." But they never seen her. Maya passed in '03. Can you hold the microphone? She passed in '03. So that night when I got home, I called Anna and I said, "Anna, no one's ever seen you. Why don't you come on up?" So she's in Orlando. She came up yesterday. She's here today. She's flying home tonight. My granddaughter got a chance to play in the snow. So that works out for everybody. Stand up, you guys. Okay. 4 candles. Will the folks come up and light the candles, please? We are here today as compassionate friends because our beloved children lived and because they have gone before us. We remember our children who we will always love. Our tears flow because our deep, tender wound we feel, and we understand that someone very precious is no longer a part of us here on earth. We hurt because our children's physical absence, but also rejoice because you have a very special love for them. Is there another person? Is there a 4th person? Do we have a 4th candle lighter there? Or could someone step up? Okay, thanks. As we light the 4 candles on our wreath in honor of our children, we light one for our grief, one for our courage, one for our memories, and one for our love. First candle. This candle represents our grief. The pain of losing you is intense. It reminds us of the death of our love. Breathe. Second. This candle represents our courage to confront our sorrow, to confront each other, to face together the changes in our lives. This candle represents our memories of the times we laughed together, the times we cried together, the times we were angry with each other, the silly things you did, and the care and joy you gave us. This candle represents our love. As we enter this holiday season, day by day, we cherish a special place in our hearts that's always reserved for you. We thank you for the gift your life has brought to each of us.
Today I light a candle for you. The seasons come and go, and I'm weary from the change. I keep on moving on. You know it's not the same. And when I'm walking all alone, do you hear me call your name? Do you hear me sing the songs we used to sing? And I will light a candle for you to shatter all the darkness and bless the times we knew. Like a beacon in the night, the flame will burn bright and guide us on our way. Today I light a candle for you. Oh, you filled my life with wonder. You touched me with surprise. I always saw that something special deep within your eyes. Through the good times, through the bad, we carried on with pride. Oh, I hold on to the love and life we knew. And I will light a candle for you to shatter all the darkness and bless the times we knew. Like a beacon in the night, this flame will burn bright to guide us on our way. Today I light a candle. Oh, today I light a candle for you. For you.
Please raise your candle after each name is read and the tolling of the bell by Ed Valentine. Kraus. We remember Logan Lattis. We remember Christopher Lavelle. We remember Alyssa Lillian. We remember Kevin Love. We remember Joseph Luzzo. We remember Kelly Lynch. We remember Timothy Lyons. We remember Kara McIver. We remember Matthew Ma. We remember Kevin Martin. We remember Sarah Rose Massaferi. We remember Paul James McGovern. We remember Christian Mitchell. We remember Catherine Grace Mousley. We remember Sean O'Brien. We remember Melissa Peters. We remember Dave Potter. We remember Melissa Potter. We remember Patrick Reich. We remember Jacqueline Rivera. We remember Tony Rivera. We remember Nicholas Charles Shuey. We remember Matt Scott. We remember Jim Snavely. We remember C. Scott Snavely. We remember Louis Anthony Spadaccini. We remember Nicholas James Strapara. We remember Stan Studzinski. We remember Kimberly Twiddell. We remember Brendan Tremmel. We remember John Gerard Waters. We remember Dalton Wirtz. We remember Matthew White. We remember Teresa Ann Williams. We remember Brady Willman. We remember William Wilson. We remember Chris Winter. We remember Shane Wolf. We remember Jim Wood II. Were there any names that we missed? Now, please close your eyes, raise your candle, and say your child's name out loud. Now lower your candle and extinguish the flame. Thank you.
Some days memories bring joy, other days only pain. Sometimes there is completeness and relief, other times regret and longing. A day can be serene or feel like being in the midst of a hurricane. I'm grateful that you have been fellow travelers along the path of grief, and I know that you continue in the journey of grief as we part from each other. I hope for you that this time of loss is also filled with grace. Everybody can read the line for parents.
I wish for you times of tears that heal and days of joy.
I wish for you the buds of new beginnings, even as you honor the past.
I wish for each of you the gifts of freedom and peace.
Life changes but does not end. Love endures, but its shape is changed by death.
I would like to thank all of you for coming tonight, helping us to remember and honor our children. I'd like to thank Sue for that wonderful talk that she gave and sharing about Scotty's life. We've heard a lot about Scotty in the meetings, and that was really neat to hear. To thank our singer tonight too. His voice was partially there, partially not, but it came through in all the songs he sung, and I greatly appreciated sharing your gift with us. And also thank all the readers tonight as well for your interpretations of all of those poems that we had, the readings that we had in our program tonight. That does end our program for this evening. We are the Brandywine 100 chapter of Compassionate Friends. We meet on the second and fourth Tuesday of each month at 7 o'clock here at the church. We will not be having a meeting the fourth Tuesday this month because of Christmas. Our next meeting will be January 13th at 7 o'clock. And there are light refreshments in the social hall that you're all welcome to come and stay and share with us. Thank you.
All right, we still, the last thing we're going to do together is the last song on here, Let There Be Peace on Earth. And I'm going to do this twice. First time I'll sing it, and the second time you're all going to sing it. Okay, I think most of us all know that. Who knows the song Let There Be Peace on Earth? Oh, we got some great voices, so let's do it together. There
so much for these generous gifts that you brought tonight